Welcome in to Down the Line with Charlie and Bo. I'm Sam Wilson. Guys, we're at the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk. There's tons of food.
Chuck, what are you tasting for right now? Look at all these shops.
It's got to be pizza, Bo.
I'm all in on the pizza, Sam. I'm all in.
I love it. Okay, well, they have one of the best pizza spots around. So let's go check it out.
Let's go. Let's go.
Down the Line is brought to you in part by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Visit Montgomery County's main streets. Find out more at makeitmainstreet.com.
They're not just familiar faces, they're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home, where personality is served on a plate and imagination paints a brighter world. A place where fresh is always in stock with a personal touch passed down through generations. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
So guys, we're here at Mako & Manco Pizza on 9th and Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey. I heard it's the best pizza on the boardwalk.
You know what, Sam? We have a lot of great pizza places in Philly, but I heard this place is off the charts.
What would you recommend?
Exactly. What are we going to have?
Hey guys, thanks for coming in.
What's up, Tom? Hey, we heard this place is out of sight for pizza. Charlie and I are hungry. So what do you recommend for us?
Well, we don't call it the best of the best for nothing, right? So, if you've never eaten here before, I would suggest just getting the plain traditional pizza. You can't go wrong with that. Unless you like toppings,
sounds
the
great.
pepperoni is obviously our second.
I have a question. What makes the pizza so special? Like, why is it so raved about?
Well, everything you see is hand tossed right in front of you. You know, we make all our own dough, it's fresh. We grind our own cheese. We do all our own sauce recipes. Like we have, you know, we put a little more love in it than your average pizza makers.
Let me ask you one question. Like today, there's a lot of people out here, but what's it like on a holiday here?
Oh man, well, this line, just getting in the door is, I mean, the line wraps around the block. And, I mean, we have 200 seats and we still not enough room. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
When does the season typically start? Are you guys pretty dead during the winter?
No, I mean, weekends are still pretty solid, you know, we do pretty well. But Memorial Day is obviously the kickoff to everybody's season in this town. But if the weather's like this is what it looks like in here, so.
I'm hungry, are you?
I'm always hungry for pizza.
Absolutely, yeah. Slice each, or we'll start with that. You guys can get more if you want more.
Perfect, thank you.
So you guys have had a couple bites so far. What do you guys have to say?
I tell you what, Sam, this is unbelievable pizza, and I can understand why the line's all the way around the block during the holidays. I'd come back for this anytime.
What about you, Charlie?
Very good. I like it. I definitely would come back for it again, and I can see why it's a very popular place.
Well, so you guys have been all over the country. Obviously, you have pizza from every different state, city, whatever. What do you guys think is more important? Because this has the sauce, the cheese, it looks perfect. Are you guys more dough person and crust, or do you like the cheese sauce ratio? Does that matter to you?
I like the cheese and sauce, but the crust is really good.
I'm a crust guy. I love thin crust.
Oh, so it's perfect.
Yeah,
It's got the
very
crisp for you.
So I'm gonna just keep eating.
Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Okay, guys, we had our pizza.
Right.
Now we get to move on to the desserts, and this boardwalk has a ton of desserts.
What are you looking at, Chuck? I mean,
We got Johnson's popcorn right here in front of us.
Okay, yeah, let's check it out.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Ooh.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you today?
Hi, Becky.
How's it going?
Good.
Great.
Charlie and I, we've been putting on a lot of weight, but we can't pass this up. What do you recommend here?
Well, I would have to say our large tubs. So we're known for our caramel corn. When you think of Johnson's popcorn, you think of the caramel flavor. But the popular opinion of all of our customers is that the small one's a little too small. I know you're trying to watch your weight, but I really think that you should get the large one.
We can share.
Should we try some? We might as well try some here.
A large one?
Yeah, thank you. Oh,
How many
wow.
other flavors? Do you guys like specialize in other stuff? Do you have other flavors of popcorn? And...
We do, so we keep it kind of simple. We don't have 25 flavors of popcorn like some other
That's
popcorn
too much.
companies do. So we do 4 things very well. That's our kind of our mentality, that whatever you're gonna do it the best you can. So we have caramel, cheddar, butter, and then a peanut crunch.
Oh,
but
that's
caramel
all
is
you
the most
need.
popular by far.
So let me ask you this: on a real busy day, do you sell a lot of those? The big ones?
We do. We sell, this is our most popular size actually, and we just keep cranking it. So we make our popcorn 7 days a week as long as we're open.
Oh, wow.
It just keeps coming out. It takes 7 minutes for 3 of these to be made. So it's very small batch. There's no way to change it. So this is the same way it was done in 1940.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people think that we could use some technology down here at Johnson's, but I really think it would affect the flavor. So we've done it the same way for over 80 years.
Wow.
Here's your tub.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I see you have a top in your hand, but how do you get the top on it with all this?
So normally the counter help would say, do you want the lid on or do you want it off? A lot of people get the lid off. You get a little bit more to eat on the boardwalk, but we do suggest you put the lid on right away because it's like any other snack food, and the humidity, I mean, the Atlantic Ocean is about 100 feet from you. So it can affect the quality. So we say, have your snack, put the lid right on.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, unbelievable.
Thank you.
Really good. Very, very good.
Except if we ate that, they'd have to roll us out of here. If we ate all of that.
True, which is why I'm going to give you the lid and you
Okay.
can take it home and it stays for a while.
Perfect.
But for everybody else, it makes sense to get it with no lid, so then
Get more.
you get more.
Right.
Okay. Sweet. We'll have to remember that.
Good salesperson. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Becky.
you so
you.
much.
All right.
See you guys.
We'll be right back with more from Charlie and Bo. Oh wow, guys, look, Shriver's Taffy and Fudge.
Saltwater taffy, I love it.
I love it too, and I like fudge, so this looks like a place we have to go in, Sam.
Oh, okay, I'm down for it.
Let's go. Oh,
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
well.
I'm Meryl. I'm the owner of Shriver Saltwater Taffy and Fudge.
I'm Larry.
Hi, Larry.
I'm Charlie.
Hi,
This is
Charlie.
Sam.
Yeah.
Hi,
Sam.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Would you like to come in and take a
Lo-
tour?
love to.
This
Not
is
only take a
perfect.
tour, but maybe eat
Have
some.
some samples. I've got you covered.
Okay, thank you.
We got the hookup.
All right. Put our mask
Oh.
on and we're ready.
So gentlemen, this is the oldest candy store on the boardwalk. We're the only candy store that produces our own saltwater taffy. And we've been doing that since 1898.
Oh, wow.
That's unbelievable.
As you can see, we have a lot of variety of candy, but our best selling and our most famous is our saltwater taffy and our fudge.
Ooh, how many different flavors do you have?
In the summertime, we have over 70 flavors of saltwater taffy.
Oh,
And what about fudge? Is it kind of the same?
Fudge also varies a little bit depending on season based on, we have spicy pumpkin for the fall.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we have some more minty things for the winter time, so we spice that up a little bit. And our saltwater taffy is right here along this train if you'd like to take a look and maybe even a sample.
perfect.
Ooh.
Sound good?
I think I might sample some.
What do you guys usually go for? What flavors?
You know what? I'm looking at this, just looking this pina colada. Check this out.
It is a warm day, so it works too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this.
Ooh, mango's my favorite though. I'm gonna go with that.
What you going for?
I'm gonna try spicy pumpkin.
All right.
But don't choose too soon.
Oh,
We have
okay.
a whole other side of the train.
Oh,
Okay, well, wait.
we'll stock up. Mango.
Yeah.
So originally there were 17 flavors of saltwater taffy, and saltwater taffy was bought to the Jersey Shore because for confectioners, chocolate was in the summertime risky. It would melt a lot. So they came up with saltwater taffy and found that it was a great product that stayed in the summertime in the heat very well. So we have air conditioning here now, but at one time this building was not air conditioned.
How
Wow.
about that?
I have a question I always wondered. Is there salt water in the saltwater taffy?
There's no salt water in the saltwater taffy, amazingly enough.
Wow.
There's no salt at all. Actually, the reason why it's called saltwater taffy is because in Atlantic City, a man named Mr. Bradley he was making taffy and selling it off of his stand on the boardwalk, which actually was planks on the beach back then.
Yeah.
But the water came up one evening and washed over his product, and a little girl came up and asked if she could have some of his saltwater taffy. And from then on, it was coined saltwater taffy.
Wow,
That's an
awesome.
unbelievable story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So this is obviously the oldest place on the boardwalk.
The oldest building, the oldest business on the boardwalk. There was a fire in 1927 that took out a large portion of the boardwalk, and at that time they moved it closer to the ocean. So this was not the original place where the building stood. It was rebuilt closer to the ocean.
Oh, okay.
So is this where they make it right here?
This is where we make it. This is where the magic happens.
All
These
right.
machines were built in the 1950s. Before that, everything was cut and wrapped by hand. And we used to pull it. Over here, there's a hook on the wall to show you an example. The taffy would be strung over the hook, and several times a taffy puller would pull the taffy and get it to the consistency. And now we have machinery to do that. So
That must
hopefully
have been
we'll
a
get
workout.
It was a workout for sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
Good
believe
shoulders.
they probably worked with 100 pounds of taffy back then. Our batches are somewhere between 50 and 100 now, depending on if we need extra of a flavor, we'll run 100. But generally speaking, most of the time it's 50 pounds. So right now on the machine, you can see the taffy.
Okay.
You know what flavor that is?
I believe it's either cinnamon or peppermint. I cannot tell. We had to start putting stripes on the products because the original colors would be yellow, and in order to tell the yellow lemon from the yellow banana, we had to find a way to be creative. So started to put a stripe on the pieces of taffy to determine which ones were which.
So when you guys make it, do you add color to it?
We do some flavors, we do. Vanilla does not particularly get a
Yeah,
color
makes sense.
added to it, but lemon, lime, grape, they would all have colors added to them. And in some cases, citric acid to give it that tangy flavor of fruit.
This is unbelievable. I mean, you don't realize what it takes to make saltwater taffy until you watch this.
So over here, we can see the taffy coming out.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Now, gentlemen, you cannot leave here without having the ultimate experience. Come back with me and I will get you a fresh piece right off the press.
You guys get this special treatment everywhere you go, huh?
Thank you.
Is it hot?
It's a little warm,
Thank you.
But it's not burning.
it's not burning hot, no. So the proper way
Yeah, show me how to
to
eat it.
unwrap a piece of saltwater taffy is to pull the ends first.
Oh wow.
Oh, I already did it. I didn't do it right though, so I should have waited, huh?
Oh, that's good.
Good. Getting it.
Nice and stringy.
Yeah, so good. Peppermint too, it's perfect.
Very
Yeah?
good.
Thumbs up, 5 stars.
Oh, yeah, easy
10 stars.
Great.
I don't have hands, but 10 stars.
Thank you.
I'll take the whole pallet.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Meryl.
Good. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
Guys, that was delicious.
Sam, let me tell you something. I think Charlie and I have gained about 10 pounds since we've done this boardwalk thing. So what's next?
Well, your stomachs are full, but are you guys up for some baseball?
Of course, we always ready. That's what we do best.
Exactly.
Well, let's go to a baseball field.
They're not just familiar faces, they're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home, where personality is served on a plate and imagination paints a brighter world. A place where fresh is always in stock with a personal touch passed down through generations. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
It figures we're at the beach and Charlie and Larry find a place where they're really at home. We're at Ocean City High School baseball field, and let's go see what the guys are doing.
First guy I'm going to introduce, Larry Bowa, multiple All-Star games, Gold Gloves, starting shortstop, 1980 World Champion Phillies, Major League coach, Major League manager, Major League player, has worn the Phillies uniform longer than anyone. He's a senior advisor for the Phillies now. Larry?
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Next guy, Charlie Manuel, manager of the 2008 World Champion Phillies. All right. On top of that, he played in the major leagues himself. Then he went to Japan for several years. He was a big star over in Japan. When he came back from Japan, he started managing in the minor leagues. He did that for many years, worked his way up, became a hitting coach. He's a renowned hitting coach. They still tap into him. In fact, a year ago, they tapped into him some more. Even though he was up as an advisor then, our owner asked him to come back down and be the hitting coach again. This guy has forgotten more about hitting than anybody ever would know. On top of that, you know, he's the winningest manager in Phillies history. So, Charlie?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me here today. I've known Frank a long time. Frank was a bat boy in Decatur, Illinois, and I played for Wisconsin Rapids in 1967. It was opening night of the season. And when I got the Philly job, he bought a box score. And he didn't have to tell me about it. I told him about it. I want you to tell me what I said to him. You know, he was our bat boy. I came into the dugout, I hit a home run, long home run in this cornfield. And I came back and I told him, I said, long tater in Decatur. You know, hey, but I've known Frank ever since then.
Now, Charlie was 23 years old then, guys. I was only 11. I want to put that part in there. I was 11 years old. Charlie was 23 years old playing in Class A baseball. He won the Triple Crown that year in the Midwest League. So, but that's funny. My very first game working, I was bat boy as a kid. We had a minor league team, the Giants did, in my hometown, and that was my summer job, working in the clubhouse and bat boying from the time I was in 5th grade till I graduated from high school. And we lost our team shortly after that. But ironically, the very first game I ever worked was against Wisconsin Rapids, and Charlie was a player on that team. And 40 years later, we're standing next to each other in the dugout with about an out or two to go in the World Series. Pretty incredible story, really.
Hey, Chuck, you know what I want you to talk to these guys about? Because I know this is one of your things. Talk to them about exit velocity and launch angle, will you please?
You got the wrong guys here for that.
I want to hear it. I want you guys, I know you guys see it on TV a lot. Listen to this man.
In today's game, how I interpret it and what they tell me is to get the proper launch angle, you know, like you got to drop your backside and swing up under the ball. All right, now first of all, to me, like, let me explain something. The ball above my hands is an uppercut. The ball below my hands is a lift. And we all work on lifts. And we don't work on, like if you say, well, when a guy throws me the ball down, and I hit a lot of ground balls. And that's why the ball that they throw you down, like, I'll tell you some good low ball hitters, Utley, Howard, Jim Tomey, Trout. You guys see Trout hit low balls and how he hits them? And like he uses his legs, and like he uses his legs, and he goes down and he gets slightly underneath the baseball, and that lifts the ball. When I talked to Ted Williams about hitting, I talked a lot about to Ted Williams. And at that time, I was hitting about 200, 198 or something like that. Ted Williams told me, he said, I'm a 340 hitter and you a 198 hitter. And I looked at him and I said, I know how to hit. I said, I don't get very many at bats. I got a broken leg and I can't run. And I'm a 3-player move in the major leagues. I said, but at the same time, I know my hitting. And we started talking, and when he told me, he said, the bigger the arc in my swing, the farther I hit the ball. Does that make sense? He says, and I agree with that to a certain extent. But also I told him, I said, the bigger arc in my swing, the longer and slower my swing is. Does that make sense? I want to get direct to the baseball and hit and go through it. Larry Bowa has his strike zone. I have my strike zone. I know what my strike zone is. He knows what his strike zone is. But I can tell you this, listen, if you're hitting, you want to keep it as simple as possible and stay away from mechanics if you can and things like that. And you got to learn your hitting. I tell guys in the major leagues, it's anywhere from 20 years old to 50. I tell them, like, you study your hitting. And believe me, you got to study your hitting, and you got to know what you're doing, and it's up to your coach to kind of keep you as close as your approach and your swing and everything as possible, where you can get back to something. Like when you're doing wrong, you can correct the flaws in your swing and things like that. Does that make sense?
Know thyself, right?
Right. Yeah, I gotta say it. Know thyself.
How many of you guys want to play in the big leagues? Okay, my next question is, do you really want to take that and work hard and sacrifice and go out here every day and take ground balls and hit and hustle and play hard? It's not just a once a week thing. If you really want to do it, you have to dedicate yourself, and it starts right now. You have to be dedicated to all the coaches here that put on the uniform. They're spreading their knowledge. When Charlie talks about hitting, if I talk about infield play, it's a matter of you grasping everything that we tell you. Because we've been around the block, believe me. We've been in baseball, between the two of us, over 100 years. I'm 50 and Chuck's close to 50. So we've seen everything, guys. I've seen guys try to take shortcuts. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. You got to go out here every day and you got to bust it from as soon as you put the spikes on till you take them off at the end of the game. And you know what, guys? This is a hard game. This is a real hard game. And if you can't deal with failure, then you might have trouble playing. Because think about this. The greatest hitters, the greatest, are in the Hall of Fame. They make 7 outs every 10 at-bats. Think about that. If there was a surgeon and had 10 surgeries and he failed 7 times, he'd be fired. But think about baseball. You better deal with it. It's a game of adjustments.
Hitting is about consistency. When Bo was telling you about, like the 3 for 10, I go along with 3 for 10. 300 used to be a yardstick for hitting. At one time you couldn't get in the Hall of Fame if you weren't a 300 hitter. But at the same time too, just a little bit more, just a little bit more consistent, it would take you from that 250 to 300 if you realize it, if you get to play every day. If you play every day in major leagues and you got 500 at bats and things like that, and if you get 1 more hit a week, it's 26 weeks or something like that in the big leagues, and you hitting 250, 204 or something like that, and you get 1 more hit a week, you'll be a 300 hitter.
I didn't make my high school team. I got cut every year. I didn't get drafted. So all you guys that have aspirations of playing in the big leagues and nobody's looking at you, or there's no scouts here, and you really want it and you think you have ability, go for it. Don't let somebody tell you can't do it, okay? I ended up playing 16 years in the big leagues, and nobody drafted me. No, I didn't even make the high school team. So keep that in mind, okay? If you want something bad enough, go after it. You can attain your goal. If you have some skills and you want it bad enough and you're willing to sacrifice, go get it, guys.
We'll be right back with more from Charlie and Bo. So it looks like the guys are going to take a little longer than expected. You just can't pull them away from the game they love. For Charlie and Larry, I'm Sam Wilson. We'll catch you down the line.
Down the Line is brought to you in part by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Visit Montgomery County's main streets. Find out more at makeitmainstreet.com.